avoidance, compromise, and giving in. Now, the other extreme is to ignore the problem or the conflict, just to walk around it, act as if nothing has happened. And related to avoidance is to compromise with the hope that the other side will meet you halfway so that you don't lose the entire issue. Now, sometimes this can be a helpful approach if you don't give up on godly values or truths. But some go further and just simply submit or give in because they are people pleasers and they don't want to lose a relationship. Partially, both confrontation and avoidance are personality traits. The directive person tends to stress the need to confront, while those who try to keep the peace will withdraw from conflict so not to rock the boat. Some people are more assertive, others are more passive. Which one would you be? But as we will see, direct cultures are also more prone to confront, and indirect are more prone not to confront and to perhaps avoid the issues. So are there other ways that we can handle conflicts that may diffuse the issue at hand and at the end of the day lead to genuine restoration? The mediator. I would say the best way for conflict resolution in indirect cultures is through a mediator or a patron, perhaps a tribal chief or an elderly sage. I quote from David Augsburger. He says this: Western-style conflict resolution values one-to-one direct address, direct confrontation, self-disclosure, negotiation, and then resolution. In the other 2/3 of the world, conflicts are immediately referred to a third party, an older, wiser, neutral, skilled family member or a trusted person from the community. Triangulation serves to save face for both parties and to reduce shaming in the system. Now, certainly people in individualist cultures also use mediation to handle conflicts, but it may come in more formal setups with recognized mediation experts than on a natural grassroots level. Now, the reason a mediator is so vital is because the direct approach between two people on their own can easily flare up and get worse because there's no go-between. Any conflict between two people in a communal society is a conflict within the community. So if one of the parties is shamed, that person's entire extended family will be shamed. So the person has to defend themselves as well as their community. The mediator is able to deflect the strong accusations, especially the blaming, take out the emotions, and interpret and clarify the grievances that both parties have. A mediator between the two who have a conflict does not mean that there is no direct accusation. In fact, the accuser can make it worse actually by shaming the accused in front of the mediator, so now the shame is doubled. However, imagine this positive outcome. So here's Santun and Musa. They have an argument. A mediator knows both men, and both of these men respect the mediator. So the mediator sits with them between Santun and Musa. So Santun complains directly to the mediator, almost as if Musa is not present. Then the mediator turns to Musa and repeats Santun's complaint, but a lot more calmly. Then Musa addresses his grievance about Santun directly to the mediator, who then turns to Santun and clarifies the complaint in a calm way. This goes on for a while till the two opposing parties, Santun and Musa, come to reconciliation. Now, that's of course an ideal situation. Very often, though, a leader of an organization or a senior advisor can be this mediator to help diffuse the tension. This senior person, maybe they're a patron, carries respect and does not want either party to be shamed. The mediator wants both parties to win and so seeks to be impartial, to hear and defend both parties. This mediator must have position, authority, and influence so that the two parties will take the mediator seriously. The two persons respect and have a sense of fear of that elder or the mediator who could actually respond by shaming them. When a person is asked to help as a mediator and speak into the conflict, they have an opportunity to show their influence and build up their reputation. Jason Georges says in his book, people feel honored when others request help because it implies that they possess the social clout to fix the problem. A leader of a multicultural ministry told me recently of two colleagues from an honor-shame culture who had an ongoing conflict. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding, whatever. But the leader wrote this: "We asked an elderly Christian who's from the same culture to join the conversation. The two who had the disagreement sat in the same room and they talked with each other openly for the first time after months. And both sides heard the other and together came up with suggestions to solve the situation. I think it went well because, first of all, we gave them a safe space for them to come together so that both could speak and listen to the other. And secondly, this senior colleague from the same culture who carried respect and influence was present, and his presence brought peace. And so together, the two of us, I as the mediator, and then the senior colleague as an elder, as a man of honor, we neither of us took sides. And they were able to work out their conflict." The purpose of mediation then is to bring the two parties together in relationship so that they can experience a bond of community again. Now, related to the mediator approach is to work through a family of the person in conflict. That, of course, assumes that you have a trusting relationship with the family and you seek to maintain their honor, their good name through the issue, and the family won't just stick up for their own family member, but they'll try to look at it objectively, if that's even feasible. Now, this is the time-honored elders at the gate approach, who have wisdom, credit, and authority because of their age and experience. In honor-shame cultures, it is imperative that these elders are used for conflict resolutions. Now, of course, there are other kinds of mediation. You can have evil mediators who actually cause or increase conflicts. You have sorcerers, witch doctors, and other mediums. And a person goes to such a medium to gain favors for themselves. But worse, if the person has an enemy, the person may plead for the medium to cast harm on the enemy, maybe a way to seek justice for their own selfish gain. We need to be wary of such mediators. Let's now look at this activity on mediation.